welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today I'm going to show you how to get this makeup look using the Game of Thrones Vault Collection by Urban Decay. I am so excited to play around with the actual collection. I got all the items, but right here I just have the eyeshadow palette in front of me. If you're interested in a peek at the entire collection and swatches, check out my video linked up above. I swatch all 20 eyeshadows on my eye so you get an idea of what they look like, how they perform, kind of if you want to buy it thing, because I know it's going to be hitting Ulta and Sephora very soon in a couple of days. And I also use some of the, I use all 4 of the eyeliners, I use the highlight, I use lipstick, so you're gonna get a pretty good idea in this video. And then if you want to see every single item swatched and used, be sure to check out my review of the collection. In today's look, I think I used 6, 7, or 8 of the eyeshadows, so you do get a pretty good feel for them. Before we get started, be sure to check me out on my other social media, MakeupByMegB everywhere. If you would like to see more looks using this palette, my IG is about to blow up with them, so be sure to check me out over there. All my links for my social media will be down below. I'm also starting to post IG TV stories or videos, so be sure to check that out. And yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this tutorial. I would say 99% of people have another palette with mattes in it, so I don't mind that it's mostly shimmer. I think it makes it fun. I would be disappointed if there were more mattes in here, but because today I'm just strictly using this palette on my eyes, I'm gonna dip into House Lannister for my transition shade. I would probably like go into my Friendcation palette or my Jaclyn Hill palette for any other kind of mattes that I would want to use given any other day. But for today's purposes, okay, I'm not personally gonna talk about spoilers, but there may be spoilers in the comments. So, I mean, honestly, at this point, the show's been on for so long. If you're not caught up, that's kind of your own fault. But those of you that watch the show, where do you think the season is going to end? We are coming up to like the epic battle that's supposed to be like the longest battle in like TV and movie history, and it's supposed to be longer than the battle that was in the Lord of the Rings movie. I'm like not emotionally or mentally prepared for all the people that are going to die. So on my eyes, I just have my Morphe base, and I'm just picking this up with a Morphe M433. This is a pretty peachy color, but it does have like a lot of warmth in it. It's not too much of like a cool tone peach, if that makes sense, but it makes sense for like the section that it's in, since it's from the Lannister section and they're down in the south. This went on super easily. I'm not having any issues or anything. I think that the pigment is fine. No complaints so far. I'm gonna take whatever is left and just start shaping out a wing here in the outer corner, just flicking product to kind of give that lifted effect to the eye. That's been my go-to for eyeshadow lately. But yes, what are your thoughts of Game of Thrones? I'm like so excited to hear what you guys think. Yes, the first 2 episodes were a little bit slow, but it seems like the rest is gonna be insane. So I feel like we needed to have like those slight moments of comfort before everything that we love and know gets destroyed. I'm just taking a clean, really big fluffy brush, and I am just going to smoke out those edges even further. I'm really going, honestly, for a light and airy look today because I just had purple and gold in my mind. So now I'm gonna kind of do an easy halo eye. So basically I'm gonna take this purple color, Stormborn, in the inner and outer corners, and then as I get to the center of my eye, I'm gonna layer Bend the Knee, which is probably my favorite shade in this palette after White Walker. And if you're curious, those are the dual chromes, and I'm like, and I'm gonna decide which gold I wanna use for the center, but I'll probably end up picking House Targaryen. I'll let you guys know. And I'm just gonna pack these shadows on. So this is a So Susan brush that doesn't have any markings. I got it in an Ipsy bag. And then this is a Soho brush, again from an Ipsy bag, that doesn't have like a name or number on it. So I apologize about that. So here you can just see I just barely tapped it and I can just tell it's mostly glitter. So I definitely want to spray it down to help pack this shadow on and to kind of prevent fallout. You're also going to get the most out of your shimmer if you apply it damp or wet. So I just dip my brush in and then I spray my brush after I have product on. And that is how I go about that. That is so pretty. Here is the true test. I'm gonna have some Vicks Plus on standby so I can wet the shimmers, but I know from swatching Stormborn was definitely more of a textured and more glittery shadow, so you can expect to have fallout from that. And I think Frozen North is of a similar texture, so that's why it's kind of good to play around with shadows before you go in for an eye look. So like I normally do my eyes first, but with a shadow like Stormborn, you probably are going to want to do your eyes first just so you avoid fallout and having to clean it off your base. And fallout isn't a bad thing, by the way. Like if there's like a ton of it, then that's a problem, but if there's a little bit of fallout, that's pretty normal, especially with a textured glittered eyeshadow. So there is definitely some glitter fallout, which I expected from the shade. So like I said, it's really, to me, not a big deal. But now I'm going to dip into Bend the Knee on the other side of that brush. And I'm also going to wet this again because I can't wait to see what the magic behind this is. And I'm just going to kind of layer it on top of Stormborn and just work my way to the middle with it. The disappointing thing is that these duochromes, I mean, it's doing a pretty good job of showing up on camera, like how metallic it is, but you just don't get the same effect on the camera that you do in person. Like it's just straight up magic on your eyeball. So here I just did some quick swatches. This is Dothraki, this is House Targaryen, and at the end is King's Landing. So King's Landing is kind of giving me more of like the lighter gold vibe that I'm looking for, but I may end up putting House Targaryen down first and then going on top with King's Landing. And then I'm just gonna switch over to this brush and go through the same process of just putting that on the center and probably wetting the brush to get the most out of the shimmers to make them look super foily and even cooler than they already are. All right, so here you can see there's honestly just a few specks of the purple that transfer down, which again isn't a big deal, but if I did have my base on, it could, you know, leave purple streaks as I tried to clean it off, so it's just best to do your eyes first. And I was never that person. I always did my base first and then my eyes, and I didn't understand people that did eyes and then base, and now the roles are reversed. And I can't picture life how I used to do it. See, right there, like that bit of pigment. Okay. Now I'm just going to lightly go around the edge of this, again, to kind of knock off any loose glitter that may be hanging around. And then to also help settle that into place, I'm just gonna take my Vicks Plus and spray it. Any setting spray you have will work for this. Just kind of melt everything down. And then I'm gonna apply the rest of my base and we'll be back, but how freaking gorgeous is this little halo eye? And then that's why yeah, let me keep talking while my fan is on. It's so early in the morning and I didn't sleep last night, so I'm sorry I'm a hot mess in this. But that's why I also really like working with shimmers and dual chromes, because you can get a super, super easy halo eye without needing to mess with concealer. So winning all around. And then also, if for some reason you're curious why I have my brows outlined, it's the same reason, so I can see where they go, but if I were to fill them in, they get covered up with foundation and everything. So I just outline them because I can still see a faint outline once I have my base on. No one cares. Okay, BRB. I'm not sure what I want to do whatsoever for the lower lash line, so we're gonna figure this one out together. I think to start off though, I love the shade White Walker so much. I'm like feeling that for an inner corner. And then I'm gonna pick which shade I wanna do for like a brow bone. I may throw up Bend the Knee or like maybe Hard Home or something, we'll see, but I don't know what I wanna do for my lower lash line. Just so we can get some of the pencils involved, I'm gonna take Winter Snow. And by the way, if you were thinking about getting anything from this collection, I would recommend checking out these pencils because like they're the most unique things about the entire collection in my opinion. I mean, just look at that. It's just beautiful. It's like white and then it has like literally glittery duochromes in it. Oh, I can't get over that. This is beautiful on its own, but I still want to set White Walker on top of it. And this may be a mistake, but I also, my favorite pencil is Lannister Gold because I just like want to cover my entire body in this color. It is so beautiful. So I'm going to pop this in my waterline and then also bring it down on my lower lash line. It may be weird that I'm putting a shimmer on my lower lash line, but like, I don't care. So I'm gonna take the teensiest hint of House Lannister on this same brush and just kind of go right at the edge of that pencil. Just to add a little dimension. So I'm just gonna go in with this brush and start putting Bend the Knee on top, and it just gives it such a really cool, like blue, icy cool tone effect. Then I think I'm gonna take a little bit of Dragon Smoke and kind of put that on the outer and inner corner, and again, kind of like smudge that around. Just so we can have some kind of depth to the lower lash line. I can't help myself. I don't know when to stop, so I'm also gonna take the Night King. So we're using all 4 of the pencils. This one is like absolutely gorgeous too. Just to bring a little bit of color. Just because that was like so light looking. I'm putting that right below where the Dragon Smoke was. I'm gonna go in with White Walker with the other side of this brush. And let's just pop that right there. Oh, so pretty. And then I'm gonna go back into King's Landing for the center just to kind of get that gold back up in there. I'm obsessed. I'm trying to figure out what I want to put on my upper lash line. I'm gonna see how Free Folk looks. It might be a little too intense, a little too like silvery looking. Well, that's not bad. I probably could have just left it matte, but like I said, I don't know when to stop. I just threw on some Ardell Wispy lashes and let's finish this video up. I am so excited to get into the highlighter palette. I'm gonna use Verisian as a little bit of a blush topper just because these 2 shades are gonna be too dark for my skin tone to wear as an actual highlight. So what you can do is use them like as a blush topper, like so. So there's like that slight gold sheen on my cheek. You could also use this as eyeshadow. So there's multiple ways. If you ever have a highlighter palette and you're like, what am I supposed to do with these shades that don't work for me? You can kind of find different ways to incorporate them. So, oh, I love, that is like a gorgeous golden glow. I wish my skin tone was a little bit darker. Like if I had a little bit of a tan, maybe I could get this gold to work. It would be beautiful on your actual cheekbones for a highlight. So I'm gonna go into Drogon, which is the pink. I was like actually excited about this because I've been wanting a pink highlight. And as you can see, it's just like that beautiful, almost kind of a wet look. In person, I can definitely see the pink sheen right here. I don't know how much camera's picking it up. So right there, it's just like such a soft, subtle sheen. And I think, I don't have a ton of experience with Urban Decay highlighters. They're definitely a little bit more on the subtle side, where I'm more used to glazed donut Ofra, which is like blinding from the heavens. So for me, I'm like, this is a little bit subtle, but I get that the average person doesn't want to be seen from outer space. All right, to kick it up a notch, I'm just gonna take my Morphe setting spray, and then when it's almost dry, I'm gonna apply a little bit more. And then that will help amp up the shine. So it's still slightly tack. Oh yeah, there we go. Slightly tacky. You don't want to do it when it's too wet, because then it will kind of pick up your foundation and everything. So just with the lightest hand possible, I'm just really going over that. Like I said, it's like weird, kind of like how lighting and cameras work, because in person, it is definitely, you can see the pink and it's just so pretty without being too much. And it's just kind of blending into that gold that I put down really nicely. I love this. White Walker that I use in my inner corner, I was playing around with that the other day, and that would make a really gorgeous highlight too. So you could also use the duochromes from the palette. I honestly think Bend the Knee would have been a cool highlight to use with this. So just for funsies, I'm gonna take a wee bit of Bend the Knee. And see how this works out for us. Oh, I love that. I apply this with a blending brush to pack it on more, and then I like to go with a bigger, fluffier brush to blend it out. Oh, I'm obsessed. Lastly, for lips, I already have my Love Bite lip liner by Morphe on, but I'm gonna use this shade Sansa today because it is the lightest and most neutral. Cersei could look cool, but I always play it safe with my lips. Sansa is also like supposed to be very, very sheer and very balmy, so it's definitely not gonna have the most pigmentation, so don't expect that going into it. It gives the nicest wash of color, and it's super comfortable to wear on the lips. I really don't have much experience with Urban Decay lipsticks. I'm really not much of a lip person. I'm more of a throw on gloss and go kind of person, but also this packaging, I live for it. Here is the final look, my first time really playing with the Game of Thrones collection. I'm obsessed with how this came out. I absolutely love the shimmers in this collection. I can't wait to get more into White Walker because I really want to use Frozen North. And then also, of course, Winterfell and Lannister looks really nice too, but I'm just super drawn to blues and purples. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this look? Is this something that you would be interested in picking up? Who's your favorite Game of Thrones character? Mine's Arya. Like, it's hard to pick one, but she's such a badass. I love her. So anyways, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up before you leave today. Turn on the notification bell. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.